This is the Zone Football League.
Welcome back to Zone In Podcast, where we talk everything Zone Football League across Newcastle. I'm Mason, as usual, and CT and Wilso, unfortunately not joining us tonight, but to my left here, I do have Harrison Johnson, player of Merewether United in Zone 3. How are you, Harry?
I'm very well. I'm very excited to be here. It is a momentous occasion. So thanks for having me, Mason.
No worries. So we'll just jump into some of the results from the Round 7 weekend. Not too much to talk about, unfortunately, still with washouts and the terrible weather we're having. In Zone 1, starting off with, unfortunately, no games got played at all.
Absolutely no news to report on.
Nothing. News to report on. No shuffling in the ladders, no nothing. I'm sure a lot of those teams will be disappointed they didn't get on, but thinking that across the board, everyone's in the same boat, so it's not too crucial to the league then.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone's going to have the same tiredness. Everyone's going to be ready to go. They're going to be itching to come out next week, hopefully. Exactly.
So then, easily moving on to Zone 2, we had Merewether Advanced play Mayfield Juniors. Merewether going down 3-1 to Mayfield.
Which, it's an upset, isn't it?
It definitely is.
Yeah.
That result as well gets Mayfield off the bottom of the table.
Yeah.
Only their second win and second round of points as well. Up against, normally you'd think, quite a strong opponent in Merewether Advance.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to think that the boys are pretty stoked on that one, getting a win against Merewether Advance, and being Merewether Advance, they've got a big game this week or this weekend, hopefully against Bwara, who we'll have on later. So good luck to those boys, but congratulations to Mayfield. Really well
for sure. Season, but looking like now 2 games in a row wins.
Is it 2 in a row?
2 in a row wins, so maybe their season on a turn.
Let's hope. I'll be excited to see the next few weeks for sure. Be keeping an eye on them.
For sure, and as we said, Mayfield coming off the bottom of the table leaves only one team to take their spot at the moment, which is unfortunately South Maitland after their 2-0 loss to Nelson Bay, the new guys coming up.
New guys
really,
on the block.
yeah,
and they've really got something to say.
Well,
which is impressive.
This becoming a frequent occurrence for Nelson Bay. Once again, maybe not the best start to the season, sitting mid-table at the moment, but they'd definitely be happy to not only get on in a weekend of bad weather, but also get those 2 goals and 3 points.
Yeah, bit of confidence.
For sure. And finally, in Zone 2, Minmai versus Crowdis Bay, the ever-feared Crowdis Bay. They would have been, once again, grateful to get the game on. Played out at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility on the Synthos, but unfortunately walking away 4-1 down to the Crabs wouldn't have been a great feeling.
It's obviously not going to be a great feeling, but you're coming up against the Crowdis Bay Crabs, and they've shown why they're the top of the table this year, and I think they're going to hold on to that for a while. So to get 1 goal on them, hopefully it was a good one and not just a fluke. Onwards and upwards for Minmai, hopefully.
Maybe. They're struggling a little bit, but turbulent start to the season, still long way to go, so hopefully they find their feet again. And lastly, rounding this round 7 results off with the one game that got played in Zone 3 being Barnsley United versus Bellbird, 2-2 draw.
Yeah.
Bit more comfortable for maybe us to touch on being our league, but probably a bit of an upset.
Bit of an upset. We haven't played either of these teams this season just yet, so we're not quite sure what they're capable of, but we know that
Barnsley being up the top half and Bellbird being the opposite on the lower end. Barnsley also having a little bit of a rut in results at the moment, so Bellbird may be pretty happy to have hit them at this time of the season.
Yeah. Hopefully Barnsley isn't suffering from maybe injury or something like that, but well done to Bellbird. It's
Bellbird maybe kickstarting their campaign for the season now.
The comeback's on nice and early. Let's hope.
For sure. short and sharp with that one, unfortunately, with only those 4 games being played. Looking at round 8, we are hopeful across all 3 divisions, but you never know until the day's played.
See who can get on a Syntho, pretty much.
Yes, pretty much the battle to get out to the Synthos. As we touched on before, we do have special guests in Bolwarra. We've got Damo, Dill, and Brandon in. We'll throw to them now. Hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
Just wanted to take a minute to thank all of our great sponsors of the Zone In podcast. We have Deploy Football, the leading developers and manufacturers of performance sporting solutions, not only just including our awesome balls, and also sportswear with all of our grassroots clubs in helping them design and produce amazing apparel. One of our other major sponsors, Solved Marketing. If you want your problems solved are the ones to go with. Helping businesses, brands solve complex challenges with ingenuity and creative solutions. Solved Marketing is our go-to agency for all of our marketing needs, and we cannot recommend them enough. And finally, Harry Schnitzel Joint. You guys know every week, Man of the Match is presented with the Harry Schnitzel Award. Definitely go check Harry Schnitzel out. And we know that all the Man of the Match recipients have been so excited to get their Harry Schnitzel Man of the Match Award and get down to Harry Schnitzel Joint.
Special guests joining us tonight are the boys from Bolwarra. You want to introduce yourself, boys?
So head coach Dancy.
Player, one of the club captains, Dylan.
Also player, one of the club captains, Damon.
Can loosen up a bit, boys. It's all a bit fun. But good to have you on. Said you survived the floods on the way down here, which is good. Touching on the weather, I guess, because it's what everyone's kind of struggling with across the board at the moment. How's the field holding up? How are the boys holding up, not being able to get out and have a run?
Yeah, I think the field is definitely not best designed for keeping the water out. We definitely struggle with the wet weather. So I think we're going to have another washout this weekend against Merryweather unless we can find somewhere to play at. But we did manage to get on against Cooks Hill a couple of weeks ago, and the ground's going to have some time to recover after that. But yeah, look, I think every club's looking to try and get at Spears Point at this stage, and I think it's going to be a fight for a bit of allocated time there. So a bit tough. And then we used Maitland hockey fields last night to get a bit of a run around. But yeah, I think the boys are just looking for anywhere to get a bit of a run in at the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
From what I heard, we were lucky to get away with no injuries last night. Apparently it was really slippery on the field.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
There you go. At work. Always at work. Trying to be easy. Got to do something.
I'm assuming, was that your reason for being late tonight? Because we are also starting.
It's always work.
We're also starting 15 minutes late because of one particular person that wasn't here on time. Yeah.
That's okay. We can forgive him this one.
Yeah, for this time. And speaking of yourself, Dill, leading the best and fairest in Zone 2 at the moment, how does that feel?
I was pretty surprised. I was just at work, and it's a great initiative from you guys. Just one of my mates, he's at Garden Subs this year. Peter just sent it through, and because it's always been counted for, but never actually acknowledged, and especially in the lower divisions that we play. So I thought that was great. I don't think I'll have it for too long. I think Crowders Bay boys like Brian and McLean, they've got a few games in hand and they seem like they're sharing it, but it's a team sport. So they can have that. And if we get the premiership at the end of the year, I'll be pretty stoked with that. I will wait and see. But
very selfless of you there. And for those, you're saying Brian McLean on your tail there, but for the other boys in Zone 2 and also just across all the competitions, what's your secret for getting best and fairest? Are you slipping the refs a 50 or?
Always got to be chirpy to them, but not too chirpy, just so they notice you. But against Minmar, I don't think I did myself any favours. I think I was in his ear a bit too much. And at the end of the game, when I didn't get any points, I was pretty surprised. Not surprised, sorry.
Surprised or disappointed?
Oh, I didn't play the best, but I'm going to use the other excuse. I was a bit too chirpy, I think. But we got the win, so that's all that matters.
I reckon you're being too humble, mate. The truth be it, that all preseason I had you at right back, and then you were like, "Oh, I need to get higher up the field into midfield."
This
And then
bloke's the head coach. Was he?
and then you started to get some points, and you're like, "I need to get to right wing." And then I find you at striker last weekend. So I think he knows it's an attacking award, and now he just wants to play striker each week.
You're in
Could
America,
definitely
so he's
be.
like, oh, well, I'll just play up top. It's all good.
Got the 4 wins when he was away, that. So we don't even need him, I reckon.
He's on a short leash, he is.
Yeah. So touching on that as well, you being the head coach, Brandon, when we've been speaking about how Bolwarra is going in the days leading up to this, you said you were relatively new to the role.
Yeah, first year as a head coach, so a little bit of reserve grade and assistant coach stuff down at Sale, where I was posted previously because I'm a Raffy, and then last year was assistant and reserve grade coach out at Bolwarra, and then sort of said to Phil, president, that I'm ready to be a head coach, so I either do it here or I do it somewhere else. And I spoke to a few different clubs, and then Phil sort of said, "No, we really want you," and yeah, took the head coach spot at Bwara, and yeah, I've loved it. I'm sure the boys would attest. It's been a bit of a shake up in terms of the intensity and the standards that I expect, and fortunately, all the boys have sort of bought into that. We had a pretty serious chat at the end of last year in the sheds. There was about 20 of us, and we sort of said, like, whilst the aim is to win the league next year and fight for promotion, it doesn't just happen through saying it. You got to actually do it and turn words into actions. And so we really had a long, hard chat about what that's going to take, and the effort, the standards, the commitment that's going to be required across all 55 blokes, because to achieve high results, I'm sure Croatia, Crabs, other teams that are high up in their leagues would attest to, it's not just your best 11. You need that depth, and especially with all this rain around. When we come back from it, there's going to be a lot of games stacked on the back of each other. People get injured. They can't play 90 minutes, like 4 days after 4 days after 4 days. So, I think this squad understands that. They understand that whilst you might be in resis, you need to also be prepared to step into first grade at any moment. So, I've loved it, and I'm really hoping these boys can go on with it and we can achieve something this year, because whilst it is only 2, it's a memory at the end of the day that these boys can really hold on to and achieve something together. And at Bolwarra, a lot of these blokes have known each other for a long time. They're good mates, whether they started at Bolwarra as juniors or they've come from playing through the NPL system and found their way back to Bolwarra. I do find this squad, they're quite a connected group. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And Damo, for yourself then, how has it been with Brandon as a coach?
Really good. I was in reserve grade with Brandon last year for pretty much the majority of the year. At the end, I played a couple first grade games, but really good. Like, demands a lot of fitness and a lot of intensity, but that's how you win games at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, if you're not playing well, you've got to do something right, and everyone can run, so that always works. But I feel like the chat at the end of last year, we had a lot of chats at the start of this year, and sort of the team and the squad, but also the captains and stuff. We have a lot of chats just about keeping everyone accountable, and I think it's worked really well. I think a lot of the boys take responsibility for the results and poor performances. We played Nelson Bay at the start of the year, and reserve grade went from 3-1 up and ended up with a 3-3 draw. And Dancy wasn't there. He was over with first grade at the time, but we had a massive chat at the end of that, just like massive learning curve. But good to see a lot of boys taking responsibility for the way we play, but also the squad as a whole, keeping it a good vibe and making sure everyone's putting in the work.
Yeah, sweet. And I showed Harry some video before. Maybe not a very traditional preseason. So I've heard from Dancy sending me a video, maybe dance by name, dance by nature. If one of you want to comment on maybe a certain Zumba session that happened in pre-season.
No comment.
That reaction, I feel like, gives it away.
It really does, doesn't it?
I think a few blokes in the squad nearly left after that. Because it was
I
crazy.
saw one of the boys rock up and then he just was like, he rocked up 5 minutes late, just looked at it, back in the car.
Yeah.
Pre-season, we're still settling in, and we rock up, and obviously I rocked up late, and literally saw the whole squad dancing, and I was like, surely someone can't be watching. If this goes viral, like not viral, but if this gets around other clubs, how are they meant to take it seriously?
Well, hey, the video is being played on screen as we speak, so we may go viral from that one. Yeah,
looking for a new coach next year. I reckon.
Do you think some of the refs were probably in the bush watching, and that's how you got best and fairest this year?
Oh,
really
it
From
was
your
definitely
dance
my
moves?
dance moves.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the football ability. No, Will Peterson, he's not here tonight, but he was one to watch there. He was a freak.
getting into it. Yeah.
And do a few Zumba sessions himself.
Probably wrong time of the year. Yeah, I reckon he studies it, does it full time. But just wrong time of the year, mate. Like if it's maybe it's something.
When
good
is
to
the
know.
right time of the year for a Zumba session?
When we're committed, I reckon. Like when it was
Once you've locked
mid-season.
us all in.
Oh, like at the start, it's like, oh Jesus. Might be rethinking other things, but no one left after it. So hopefully that video doesn't. Do you guys don't have the video, do you?
I have the video.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
I can promise you now, Zumba will be coming back every year.
But you just got to make sure your fitness is up to scratch. Otherwise, Zumba's coming back by the sound of it.
Yeah, it was good to see everyone whip out a twerk, and there was some good goal celebrations that came out of it as well. So, but the jokes aside, the reason that the Zumba did come out is because we've got a bunch of new guys that came into the club, and I think you got to loosen some blokes up in terms of getting a bit silly, having a bit of a laugh, letting your guard down, and I thought it was a brilliant way to do that. Everyone just got a bit crazy with it and had a bit of fun, and then it had been a tough preseason for us. Like if we go through preseason, we didn't win a single game. We lost, I think, all 5. Oh, we got a couple of draws in there.
Was Zumba post or pre those losses?
Yeah, sort of in the middle.
Before Cardiff,
That's when you
wasn't it?
started getting those draws.
yeah. But yeah, the boys sort of kept their heads up through all that because it can be tough, and I sort of knew that I was pushing them pretty hard. We had West Walls End as our first trial, and then Thornton Redbacks are in there as well, so that's 2 leagues above us. And we were up. Who else did we play? Oh, we didn't play
Southern.
Like we didn't play anyone in our grade.
Yeah.
Dancy did that for a reason. Like I think the only one we played was an away trip to Foster to play Southern, and like going up there and spending 2 hours in the car and getting out and trying to play a game.
Thin squad as well. I think there was a
Yeah,
couple of
thin.
boys busy that weekend. So
Like you can barely
Yeah.
get enough during the season.
But you weren't working that weekend?
No, I was.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
of course he was. I didn't play much pre-season. Probably why I'm so unfit, I reckon. But like just to get enough to go up there and during pre-season as well, especially with a bunch of older guys. Like we'll discuss them probably later. Some of the 200 club.
Yep.
But no, I played good footy and definitely improved every week.
Yeah. I think the tough pre-season sort of led to this situation where I needed to find out what sort of character I had in my players and who's got a bit of a backbone on them and happy to dig in the trenches in some hard games against some quality opposition. And funny enough, we draw Crabs round 1, very tough opponent, and pushed us to our limits and then eventually ran over the top of us at the end. But since then, I think we've conceded 2 goals in the next 5 games and a hard away trip up to Southern where we got a draw, but since then won 4 in a row. And I think taking them from that really tough preseason and really making sure they had the right character and attitude and effort ingrained in them. And I'm not really a results-focused coach. I'm more about the performance. So I don't really care if I lose a game if the boys played our system and really gave me everything. But at the same time, I can be disappointed in a win if I don't feel like we earned the win and I don't feel like we stuck to our system. So whilst we stayed true to our principles, how we wanted to play as a squad, didn't really matter that we lost all through preseason and it's sort of shown now.
Did you notice a difference from when preseason ended to the start of the season? Was there a major difference from those 2 games?
Because we did the most of the preseason trying a certain formation and tactic, and like it was got to come together. But as we started off playing with Crabs, and they're an amazing team, and I think we probably couldn't start our season worse. Like we went down there and conceded in the first 30 seconds, so we played them, ended up getting right back in the second half, and then Bryant slot one in the bottom corner, like deflection, and keeper tipped it onto the post. It was just one of those days. But they're an amazing team. Like they deserve the win. Then we went down to up to Southern, and then scored. I believe we were the better team. Scored and then conceded 30 seconds later. So they were your first 2 games, and then like dancing, like even though he had us playing a certain way, he acknowledged it was time to switch things up and change formations, change tactics. And is it 4? You said 4 in a row, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 in a row and 18 goals in 4 games and 2 goals conceded. Like just that change, and the boys just started playing. It was really good to watch, like really good to be a part of, I must admit.
I think the change just came. We had a chat one night. We just we meet up every couple of weeks, and with the rain, we had one a week ago, but we had one about a month ago before we had our 4 wins, and we just said it was working. Like the system we were playing, it was working. It worked in preseason, but I think the switch just fit the personnel a bit better, fit what we had and what they could offer. And yeah, I wouldn't say you want to look back after 4 wins.
Well, that's the thing, obviously, with such a crazy start to the season, games in hand and everything, it's hard to really tell where you do sit on the table. But obviously you guys in the top 3 at the moment, obviously something's worked. And as you say, after first 2 games, off to a rocky start, and well, we're coming into round 8 now. Haven't played all 7 games, but to have maybe such a low start at the beginning and then disruptive first half of the season, but to still be in that top 3 is obviously credit, as you say, to the playing group, and then also yourself in the head coach as well.
Yeah, I think for now it's going to be about, I tell the boys all the time that you win your championships in pre-season, but you also win them in these extended breaks. There's clubs that are prepared to do some work in these times, and you can't really fix your season up if you're going to start your working towards changing tactics or getting fit once the season starts. So these boys started working probably in December. I think we got back at it. We had some social kick-arounds in November. And these boys are working really hard right now to make sure that this rain break doesn't affect our season too hard, because I know that some clubs bounce out of it better than others, kind of thing.
For sure.
Not the biggest team either, height-wise, so it's helpful when we can outrun teams, because we are not a very large team.
Vertically challenged.
Yeah, something like that.
And just something in my mind as well. With the whole Zumba and dancing thing, do you guys have a after game sponsor that you go back to that you'd like to give a shout out to while you're here?
We go back to the Grand Junction, probably the most popular pub in Maitland.
Yeah.
Ray sponsors us. That's the pizza joint. But that's something we're definitely trying to work on. Like you watch other clubs after a game and they all celebrate like they won the grand final, and that's what I'm hoping we will get to one day.
Yeah.
Like, after we won on the weekend against Cooks, and I think there was like 6 blokes at the pub, and I know with the wet weather and all the rest, but something to work on. But yeah, definitely the Grand Junction. And
were those 6 the best dancers or?
Best drinkers.
Yeah, righto. Yeah, probably makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice way of saying it, isn't it? Any of you 2 part of that?
I was.
I work, so I avoid it.
Oh, it's your time to work, his time to party. Yeah.
And then I get down there, and I've been at the ground since 10 o'clock in the morning because I'm there I have a run around in thirds. Probably shouldn't. Last game, I think it was my first overlapping run from fullback. I'd been on for 2 minutes and the hamstring went. So I need to stick to coaching. But yes, full day girlfriend's sitting up on the hill watching, and then I'm like, oh, I need to get on the beers with the boys now. So it doesn't go down well.
Yeah.
So, and then I tried to escape, and this fella rocks up late, standard,
Yeah.
and meets me at the door and goes, why are you walking out? Nah, you're back in here.
It is really hard to explain, isn't it, that it's a full day event. You're only playing for 2 hours, but you're there the whole day and the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, I think if Dylan had it his way, I'd be there 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. and I'd probably be a single bloke as well. So
I'm pretty sure most of us, while we still play, it's a silly Sunday and all those things.
Exactly, yeah. You got your serious clubs, and you'd most likely think up in the Zone 1 being the top of the division. But, yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about playing with your mates. As you said, there's been boys there at Bolwarra playing for years together and stuff, going back to the local, hanging out at training and stuff. And that's why I asked about how training's been going and stuff, because I know for us, we both play in the league as well. It's just not seeing your mates is hard mentally as well, and then you're not focused because it's everything's happening. You can't focus on work, your mates, football, anything. And as you say, some teams bounce back easier once we hopefully get back into it all. But yeah, I think that's a big people managing as well from a coaching perspective, not only just out on the field stuff, but yeah, player and people managing.
Yeah, I think it's bread and butter for Bolwarra and the club that they are. Obviously, I've only been here for last year and this year, so I don't know the full history. It was exciting for me to go to the ball last year to celebrate 50 years of the club and sort of see how much it meant to a few people. I know the president, Phil's been working tirelessly for years and years and years to see this club get to where it's at. And I guess that's sort of why I committed to Bolwarra, as wanting to be where I sort of did my first head coaching gig. Is I saw the potential in this club and want to see it grow and really go forth. And I have big ambitions for the club, and Phil knows that I'd love to see Bwara become a new FM club one day. And I guess having the backing of him as the president and the committee, with me having that ambition as the coach, and then this playing group also having ambition, it's very rare to get a club that gets that nice sync between committee, coach, and playing group. It sounds cliche, but clear communication up and down across the playing group, coach, and committee is something that a lot of clubs can really struggle for. And then you also can sometimes get in a club purple circles of people that are potentially favourites, or you need to play these guys, or this is a clique here in this club. And we've kind of gotten rid of that. So it's this situation now where I feel like everyone sees that they have the potential to become a first grader if they put in the effort, they put in the hard work. I don't really have favourites as someone who's been there for only 2 years. And we're a young squad. I was only asking ads a couple of days ago, what's the average age of the best 21 players in the squad right now? Sorry, best 20 players. And it's 21 years old. So you'd think that's like an NPL reserve grade.
Yeah.
I know I'd happily take on any NPL reserve grade with those 20 blokes. And you don't have to pay a couple grand rego. So we're a club on the rise, and I know that if we can't run down Crabs this year, but we're going to try to, that we will be very, very strong next year. And even if we don't run down Crabs for promotion, we're sure as heck going to be going after that grand final, because they might enjoy their promotion, but we'd love to spoil it with a grand final win. And I think the boys have been talking about how that week after a grand final win would go down, so that keeps them motivated. And I think there's a Bali trip. There's a lot. There's a lot.
A long pre-season to get back in fitness.
Yeah, for sure.
Long pre-season.
But it's like, even that average age, 21, like you got some blokes in the mid-30s, late 30s, like some of those 200 boys will speak.
So, yeah, I was going to say, we'll touch on that. The other week, as I say, it's hard to remember when the last game was. But, yeah, a couple of weeks ago, we saw you guys, the club, award a handful of guys into the 200 club, which was amazing to see. Tell us about that.
Oh, like they're I wouldn't say the originals. They would be.
Yeah,
like,
they're the
it was like Tom, we'll quickly name him, like Tom McFadden. Like, he's been in the club for years now. Like, how long? Nearly 15 years, 20?
Yeah, ages.
Like his dad used to coach Bwara, Pete. He's still around the club. His brother Joe, he's playing with us in first grade now. He just got back from a 13-month not European trip, South America.
Yeah.
Like their sister Laura does the treasury at the club,
Mhm.
Regos and all the rest. Like their family's always been around. Michael Gavin, Jim Keefe, Josh Noble, James Eagleton, Peter Rizzo 199 if he's listening.
If he's listening.
He just left before, unfortunately.
He missed out.
Who else are we missing? Is that
No, that's it. That's the 5 of them. isn't
like because they've been at the club for years and like it's our 10th season in Zone League now and
Yep.
like even though the Rezzies and first grader may be a little bit younger, like there's definitely those boys still around and like they're really the heart of the club and what sets us differently. Like I don't know who they spray more, us or the away team, but like when we got the ball in first grade, they were all just yelling at us like we suck and everything.
Yeah.
And just
As
a
it
bit
should
of
be.
a difference.
Yeah.
The opposition's actually safer.
Yeah.
The opposition's safer from our boys than we are.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Sitting behind your
Like,
own goalkeeper.
Yeah.
They're joining the
Correct.
they're too scared of the other team. So yell at me, for example, I'm not going to do too much. But like for those blokes like 10 years ago to step into Zone League and Jim Keefe and Michael Gavin, for example, never were soccer players, they're high-level rugby league and rugby union players, and to come in and still be one of our best players, I reckon, just with their attitude and. Like
And to clarify that's 200 zone league games for the club. It's not just 200 games overall.
It would be
Over 10 years, the maths kind of works. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were all age before and decided to take the next step. And
Yep.
here we are 10 years later. Like Josh Noble, for example, he teaches some of the blokes in the squad. So there's that little bit of disparity, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's a really great group to be a bunch and mates being mates. I think Creator Spade touched on it's same with us.
Yeah. And obviously this is why we get teams in, clubs in to talk about themselves and stuff. But you wouldn't imagine there'd be too many clubs knocking around that have players that have been with them for 10 years, the original starters, their families involved in the club. And I just say one of the boys is teaching some of the other players in the club. That's pretty special as a club, for sure.
Like, because it was our 50th year last year, so they started in 74, and even my dad played back then. That's how old he is. Like, you wouldn't get that too far away, and especially, I reckon that's what separates us, like our juniors. Like, for example, like a lot of us were Bwara juniors, and now the ones coming through, we get that many reg for juniors that they just set up like up until about under eights, they can just play at Bwara, so they don't need to go to Singleton. There's that many regos and teams that they can just go to Bwara every weekend, play, and then the way Bwara subsidise it, like with the kids active voucher, it's pretty much free.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of clubs don't have, especially when you go on that higher level.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of our main differences.
So you guys are looking at being the Panthers of zone football, all the way through the juniors, all the way.
Yeah.
You joke, but really that's what it's about for us at the moment. I've just this week been talking to Phil about how do we make this transition and this reality of making Bolwarra one day a new FM club, and it's about making sure that we have the guys coming in behind. I don't want to be a club where we have to potentially pay people. None of it. We don't pay anyone. Like these guys love this club, and it's about playing for the badge. And we've got guys like Leo, who's been a junior, come through. He's only 17 years old, but he's already started in the midfield for first grade, I think 4 games this year. And he's one of our club captains at 17 years old.
Yeah, wow.
We're not scared to do that, even because it sets the precedent that we're about bringing through those young guys, and he is a good representative that the younger blokes can go to and still feed into these meetings that I have with the captains and have their opinions heard. And we've got a few guys starting to show interest in coming to the club, but I make sure I have a call with them, and I'm like, you're not coming here for 1 or 2 seasons. If you want to be part of Bolwarra, you come in here because you want to play with these blokes for a long time, because these guys want to stay together and play for a long time, because this club's not somewhere you just transition through. It's family for a lot of these guys. It's community. It's a social network. It's not just about playing 90 minutes of football. It's a lot more for these guys. I think there was a bit of fear that me as coming in as this brand new head coach wouldn't understand that, because I've been around the place with my job in the Air Force, but it only took me last year 6 months to realise how much it meant to these guys and the committee and what this club's about. And I love it, and I really want to help embrace that by making sure young squad, but also a squad of blokes that want to stay at the club long term and see it really go up the ranks.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's great. And so then I know I'm looking at the time. Don't want to keep you here for too long. But yeah, so we've spoken about pre-season, spoken about start of the season and club-based stuff. Looking forward now as the season itself, how are we feeling? How are we looking to try and, as you say, keep on the tail of crabs and maybe even try and push them out?
It's just consistent. Like, we're just trying to be consistent, and so that's the whole thing with this big rain break that's happening. We might not play for another 3 weeks or something, depending on how long it takes fields to dry out. Just trying to stay fit, even if we can't get on a ball. Just like the other night, we went down to Maitland Park and did a 4 or 5K run as a group, or lots of little groups, I should say. But just trying to stay consistent. We probably need to organise a bit of a team meet-up at some point and just keep the boys together so that when we come back, it's just about getting back into the field of playing footy again rather than
Just hitting
getting
the ground
back
running.
together. Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, like definitely, like Credas are going to be hard to catch, especially 6 points in front already. Like that just means we need to take our points. But like the comp this year is so like even, in my opinion. Like anyone can beat anyone, and you need to turn up or you will lose. Like definitely a goal as us as a club is to have that home major semi would be like amazing. I think like finish definitely second or thirds on our goals, and like I believe it's achievable, especially with our younger squad, like in the top 20 or whatever. Like we'll be able to hopefully bounce back pending availability, because I feel like a lot of clubs are going to be in the same boat with, because it'll be Saturday midweek. Like it's already 2 games in hand, and like I dare say this weekend will be cancelled. Like we're meant to play Lambton tonight, like, and they're a team on form. Like I think they won the last 4 as well. So hopefully we can verse them with a full squad. But it'll just
And with one of their star players always working, it will be hard.
I've got a European holiday coming up.
Oh, even better. Even better.
There goes the MVP.
It'll be hard to chase them after a few weeks off, but if it's still there, I don't know what they've been doing. I can't imagine they'll be catchable by the time I get back. Hopefully I'm just fit if we make semis, which hopefully we do. Like, yeah.
Well, you'll be running while you're away.
Yeah.
Run into the bar and back.
Lots of carb.
Yeah, you'll enjoy reserve grade finals.
Yeah.
Wow. I can only play first grade with work on Saturday, so the boys were saying in the chat last night, it's very convenient, this bloke.
Yeah.
So no grand final at all.
Oh, hopefully something this year. I haven't played grand final in a while. It'll be a pretty special day for the club, I reckon. But hopefully if everything goes our way and we do what we can, and like second will be achievable, but like if anything happens in finals, like as long as you make the top 5, and like you've seen teams win from 5th, like that's the great thing about that top 5. If you
that's it.
then you might be out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think for me as a coach, it's keeping the boys focused on that's the goal, but what's right in front of us. And there's no easy games in this league. Nelson Bay came to us midweek and gave us a hell of a game. I would say probably the toughest game. As a coach, in all my years coaching, I'd say it's best I've felt for a win. It was only 1-0. This bloke slotted one in about 10 minutes to go in the game.
It was a fluke.
But I like to Nelson Bay's credit, they showed up and they played a blinder. They pushed us to our very limit. So that just tells us that no easy games in this league.
For sure. And as we've said as well, yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're in Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3. All the leagues that are building up at the moment are crazy competitive. And I just say throughout the year itself, anything can happen in next year, 2 years, 3 years' time. What we're building, and I say from a Zone League perspective, but also as clubs yourself as well, being part of that, this whole system is great. And obviously, yeah, the end goal is to go up the ranks, new FM, MPL, but yeah, you guys especially been challenging in Zone 2 are part of the reason why Zone League's getting such a great name for itself.
Yeah, I mean, you guys deserve some of the credit here. Honestly, the fact that you got this podcast going and the fact we've got Bar TV coming out to games and the atmosphere that you had for that Suns Croatia game round 1, I think it's terrific. You see how many people are interested in this community level football, the ambition that clubs now have with the ability to promote, and then also the fear of relegation. I think it's really good to see grassroots football in Newcastle is thriving. I think you would almost say that it's getting more of an atmosphere and more of an interest than potentially NPL.
Look, I didn't say that. You said it. So.
Yeah, I'm happy to put my name against that, but I think this is terrific, and I really hope that it continues to grow because it's only good for junior level football and Football Australia as a whole, where hopefully the next talent can come out of Zone League and push its way into NPL and go further.
You mentioned as well about Bar TV coming out. Part of the reason why we've got you on tonight is to speak about the upcoming game on the weekend. We'll speak as if it is going ahead in all hope. But yeah, you guys are hosting Merriweather Advance at Bolwarra for round 8 match of the round. How do you guys feel, players and coach and the club as a whole, about being able to host Bar TV? And we've spoken to other teams and such, like, it's a memory that the club and players can then hold for a long time that hasn't been offered before.
Oh, like, pretty special. Like, we were trying to get ready for the occasion, get some scaffolding for the best chem review. I reckon there'll be a few blokes in the team that would just like watching themselves play, to be honest. But no, it was got to be a really good day, and I hope it's on, but I reckon Maitland may be flooding soon, so we'll take it one week at a time.
Just
but
put the
we're
whole
pretty
field
excited.
up on stilts.
Yeah.
Well, we're on top of a hill and we still don't even drain properly, so I don't know how that makes sense, but it was got to be a really good day, like, especially Merriweather being a strong club. Like, I think their third grade always fly, and Resi's in first grade always hard to beat, and they could always be like around the top 5. But it was got to be a really good week, and hopefully it's on. But
And I have heard as well, the club, just in other home games for the season, you've got like walkout music, you've got goal music and everything, which is great to hear. Whose initiative was that, and how does it make you guys
That bloke
feel?
right there.
yeah, like, this
That's a
bloke,
dancey
I don't
thing.
know,
Yeah.
Like, he says he works at the RAF, but I don't think he does too much work. This bloke just sends
He's got
through
so much
football
time.
all day. Like, all the RAF people, I know, have to put their phone in a metal box, not this bloke. He's always on it, always talking football about, like, him and Ads Davis, like one of the volunteers at Bwara. He was sending me videos of songs and song suggestions, and he just popped through 20. And I don't know, do we play it when the opposition scores or
No.
We don't know yet. They haven't scored yet.
Oh, big
You can't
calls.
say that.
Wow.
get off it?
No, we definitely don't. We definitely don't.
Cook scored.
I wasn't there.
I think we were just in our own heads after we conceded.
Yeah.
Trying to be hard to beat at home.
Yeah.
Trying to
Yeah.
make home a bit of
Yeah,
a fortress. Make it
absolutely.
somewhere where we feel really confident.
And is there a favourite song of the squad, or what? Is there one particular song that gets played after a goal?
Oh, because Ads hasn't labelled them, so he just plays them at random. So there's like difference between like rap and what's that Free From Desire song?
Oh
Yeah, yeah.
That gets played pretty frequently.
They can sing.
I
it.
don't think I know it. Even one of you give us a
You already
sing.
got clips of us dancing.
Nearly got him.
We've got to keep the playbook closed. We've got to keep the playbook closed.
Well, between the dancing, the music, and all that, you guys almost sound like you're playing WWE at this point. What is going on over at Bolwarra?
Entertaining at the very least, if not the football, but the off-field stuff.
Either that or a nightclub, I reckon. But
Yeah.
we try and have a bit of fun at Bwara, and I don't know. I hope, like, if you guys are noticing, I think we're doing something okay. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, just a big difference. Like, the speaker's blaring, and hopefully it keeps us up and about all year round.
Yeah. And the one thing I did want to touch on as well that I've seen, so obviously mascot, Bush Ranger, is it Ned Kelly based? Does anyone
Yeah,
know too much? Yeah.
definitely Ned Kelly based.
And then not sure how much of this I'll be able to use in the podcast, but the Gers,
Oh, no,
who greenlit
me.
that?
It's
And
this, like, he's the only one in the club that says Gers. Like, it's Gers.
Gers, right?
He's just
Like we tell you every week. You were here at because we have.
I don't know who's throwing who under the bus here.
Oh mate, throw him under the bus.
This is a stitch up.
I won't be playing this.
I see it on all the socials. The Gers.
It's definitely Gers. Just shorten it.
Yeah.
Like,
Somehow I've been stitched up about my pronunciation.
if Bar TV, good thing we're probably not playing this weekend. After this interview, I don't think I'll be playing. But
You're cancelled after that.
All I know is you're in reserve grade.
that's all right. With the VA, like all you hear him yelling "Go Gers" and it's like pronounced Jers. And oh mate, it's shocking. Zumba, what else?
Where did it originate from though?
Jers.
Jers.
Rangers.
Rangers.
Yeah, I gathered that, but I was like, God, someone's pretty ballsy to be shortening it down to that for a nickname. So I just
We've been playing that after games. We've been playing some song about. We've been playing some song about like Rangers or whatever.
yeah.
I don't know where that's come from. It's definitely not a club original. That's got to be about Rangers from Scotland. Someone's put that song just because it's got Rangers in it, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it goes up the blue and the white, and we don't even have blue and white now. Uniform has just got the word Rangers in it.
We'll have to do a remix.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
That
could go
Dill
hand
lead
in
singer
hand.
or
Oh, definitely not.
I can't sing. I can't do much actually.
I'm scared to talk now that you're judging my pronunciation.
Yeah, head
I think
coach
it's
at
pronunciation.
Oh,
Mate,
Oh, I can't talk. Speak.
lovely having you boys on.
You won't see us again.
Yeah, yeah.
Drop from the squad.
Yeah.
I like getting into dancing, but it's great.
Head coach fired.
Never turns up again.
Yeah, it's definitely hill sprints next training session.
Well, no, it has been good to have you guys on. And unless there's anything else you wanted to say, everyone now seems pretty quiet after a few hooks and under the buses thrown. But yeah, it has been great to have you on. Doing great in the season so far. Best of luck for the rest of the season. And yeah, hopefully we all get on very, very soon.
No, thanks very much. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Had a blast, boys. Thank you.
this is the Zone Football League.